apologize right off the bat for the kind of awkward lighting. One of my lines did go out, but we will make do. Hello, Amy Stitch Love, good to see you. And hello, Lilo. Lilo, thank you so much, everybody who is dropping in to the art request zone. And before we get going, I do wish to announce that every Sunday I do live art requests where you can request your favorite cartoon characters, either Disney, Universal, or whatever franchise as you like, as long as they are family friendly and the themes do stay appropriate. Hello, Timothy, good to see you. I also wish to announce to one of our moderators, Blake, wanting to wish you a very happy birthday. And before we get too far into it, for the first order of business, let's draw Blake a little happy birthday present. If Blake does show up, I will definitely show him what we drew today. Hello, Timothy. It's so good to see you. I forgot to ask, but how's the Oscars watch party? And hello, CJL. How are you doing today? So here's Blake. Hello, Chaz. Good to see you. What's up and how are you doing? Right now, we are drawing our moderator and our friend Blake a very happy birthday surprise. Unfortunately, he's not in the chat quite yet, but when he comes, be assured to him in full glory. Hello, Robin. Good to see you. I am so glad that you were able to make it back from Disney. And welcome back home. So how are you holding up? And I know it's kind of a long commute. Hello, Rose. We are absolutely going to be drawing the Tower of Terror each and every day. I cannot get enough of the Hollywood Tower Hotel. So here you go, Blake. Here's Blake's birthday present. Blake is dropping in to Blake is going to be dropping in to a gigantic pile of presents. Hello, Jalen. Good to see you. What's up and how you doing? And also, I forgot where I was going with this train of thought, but it's so good to see everybody. So usually on Sundays, this is what we usually do. Sometimes, if you're very lucky and if we have time, I take you on a little adventure in Denver, Colorado, or wherever I end up. So most times I go live from this spot. Other times I go live from anywhere that I find myself in, whether it's Napa or even a different park besides Disney World in Orlando, Florida. I am so glad to hear, Timothy, that your Oscar watch party went really well. And also, I do know, oh, that's so awesome that you like Anakin Skywalker. I've not heard of Anakin Skywalker, but I've heard of Luke Skywalker. I know that Star Wars Weekend is coming up next May, which I'm rather curious about. I've never celebrated Star Wars Weekend, but I will be leaving Disneyland one day before Star Wars Weekend to head home because I do have work. I was really hoping to stay for Star Wars Weekend, but unfortunately, because of how my work schedule worked out this year, there will not be any Star Wars Weekend, but we'll do the pre-party and pre-show where we will walk around to see if there's any Star Wars treats or any Star Wars shenanigans going on in Disneyland. So here you go, Blake. Happy birthday, Blake. Woo! I know, Rose, I'm so behind the times. And when it comes to Star Wars, you know, say Star Wars. I don't speak no to Star Wars. Luke, I'm a father. For some reason, I thought that Luke's father was named Alvin O'Dale. I'm doing quite well, Chazcat. And Jalen, so good to see you. And Chaz says, happy Sunday, everybody. Woo! That's so awesome, Timothy, that you're going to Disney World in just 8 days. And thank you so much for writing the Hollywood Tower Hotel. But the best thing on the planet, I'm doing very well. Thank you for asking. So here you go. Happy birthday, Blake. Woo! So many Disney dreams coming your way, and may your day be filled with Disney magic, and a whole lot of presents. I'm curious, Rose, do you get to have the entire elevator by yourself? I've never ridden Tower by myself or in an elevator or in an elevator car. That would be like my very first time getting to ride the Tower of Terror. That'd be I have always dreamed of riding the Tower of Terror in an elevator car by myself, so I can sing "It's a Small World" as loudly and as proudly as I like. And that's so awesome. Rose, how were you able to write it after hours? I've always been trying to figure out how do I get to write Tower of Terror by myself, just so we can all scream and sing "It's a Small World" nonstop. Oh, that's so awesome, Timothy. Enjoy your dinner and enjoy Disney World. So here you go, Blake. Happy birthday. Woo! And next up, not the Twilight Zone, but the Tower of Terror. It's okay. Welcome back, Robin. Good to see you. And I'm curious, if you don't mind sharing, how was the drive home from Disney World? The drive or the commute, I meant to say. That's awesome, Rose. I never knew that you were a cast member. Did you work for the Tower? Did you work at the Tower of Terror? And you too, Timothy. Talk to you tomorrow. And I can't wait to hear more about your Oscar party. Oof, I can imagine, Robin. A mighty, mighty long race. And hello, Amy. It's so good to see you again. I remember the drive from Denver, Colorado to Jacksonville, Florida, where one of my cousins used to live years ago. That was a 28-hour drive, and it was exhausting. I never knew just how long it would be to literally be driving from Colorado, basically, up to near where Disney World was. That's so awesome, Rose. I didn't know that you worked in the Star Wars area and you were a park greeter. I have never worked in the Disney park, but one of my dreams would be to work in the working in as a Tower of Terror bellhop. I'm not sure how feasible that is, but I know that if I can get into the Disney College program, I'll be able to live on property at one of the rental places. And what would be really awesome is just being able to be a Tower of Terror cast member for 6 months of my life. That was wild, Robin. I never knew that Star Tours was a 50-minute wait. And I also heard that because it's spring break and Texas is having spring break, one of the largest states, that literally every single line is over 50 minutes if you're lucky. And you can get onto anything if you wait for 1 hour. No wonder it's really hard to get onto Tower of Terror unless you're a Moe. And as you see, and if you do go to Moe's Hollywood Studios stream today, the very first one, he got pixie dusted and he got to ride the Tower of Terror through the chicken elevator. And that sounds about right, Robin. Absolutely wild. I never thought that we would see the park so intensely filled up. And if you do watch Richard, aka Magic and Mayhem streams, you can see the pure extent of how full Epcot was. There was barely any walking room or anything, and it was even challenging to get on Spaceship Earth or even Figment. And also same with Sierra streams. If you do watch cruise and theme park streams too, you can also see just how absolutely packed it was to get on Figment, which is usually a walk-on. Same with Grand Fiesta Tom. Grand Fiestas was over 15 minutes, which indicates that Epcot is packed. So whenever you see Grand Fiesta being 15 minutes on the app, not 25, 15, you know you're in for a very packed Epcot day. Usually Disney says that Grand Fiesta is a 25-minute wait if you're doing crowd control. 15 minutes is the actual time that you'll be waiting from. So that's how you can tell if Disney's really packed or not, is look for the least popular rides wait times and see how absolutely full they are. And that does include Living on the Land, which got up to 50 minutes this weekend too, if I recall correctly. Either we call Richard, Robin, or Sierra saying, Rolla got that line, a 60-minute Living on the Land line. Hello, Lyle, good to see you. What's up, how you doing? We were just talking about how absolutely jam-packed the parks were this weekend, given the fact that it's spring break in Texas and in Iowa. Oh my gosh. That is so wild and blows my mind away. Robin says, the line for Grand Fiesta was out the lobby where you enter, oh my gosh, inside the pyramid. And was it bumper to bumper? How fast did the line move? Or was it a very slow moving line? Sometimes what they do for Grand Fiesta is they actually extend the line outside into the lobby. Then they rope it off and provide a really big entrance in a gap between where the line starts and ends, so that hello Matthew, good to see you. So that people and shoppers can get through the line without being interrupted by the Grand Fiesta line. I do wonder how quickly that line was moving. That should give an estimate of how absolutely packed it was. This is wild. And also Robin also said, and Jalen also said, wow, this towel is so good. Oh, thank you so much. Rigging the details in. Robin also says, speaking of lines, the line goes through security at Animal Kingdom, which was out. The line to go through security at Animal Kingdom was literally out the parking lot. Oh my gosh. I'm curious, how long did you have to wait in that line? I am literally floored. I'm so shocked right now. I remember when Epcot used to be a park that you could just walk around and poof, you're in there. Then Disney, which I really enjoyed the festivals, added a bunch of festivals. So Epcot was always busy. Epcot used to be so quiet most of the year. Bam, then came the festivals. And that's right, Lyle. Many of the lines were absolutely wild. And one time, and I do recall that either it was CL, which was from what I saw personally. Correct me if I'm wrong. It was somebody else who was going to ride the Tower of Town. They went up to the tower, and the line was 85 minutes long. I do feel that Hollywood Studios does feel the impact of congestion the most, just because it has the most things walled off, and it has the most things walled off. Unlike Epcot, that has a bigger footprint and you can do more. Same with Animal Kingdom and Magic Kingdom. But what happens with the construction in Hollywood Studios is it creates this bottleneck effect, especially if people are trying to get on the popular rides like Tower of Town. Since Muppets Vision 3D is shut down, not Muppets Vision 3D, but Rock and Roll Coaster, which was a massive people eater. Robin says, I use a scooter, so I had to go through the wheelchair/stroller line. It took me 15 minutes to get through the line. It took Richard and my son about 25. That is so wild. And also, I do recall, and definitely, Matthew, I can draw Mickey Mouse riding Tower of Terror right now. And what I find really wild is I recall Robin saying that she literally, saying that she, ouch, I just stepped on a boot. I recall Robin saying that she was still stuck in the Skyliner gondola line when Richard was finishing up fireworks and Luminous at Epcot. Robin, that's what I recall hearing. That's what I recall hearing, speaking of long, tedious lines. And do you have any guesses to what I just stepped on? Guess what I just stepped on with my bare foot. Hello, Shell, good to see you. This is what I just stepped on with my bare foot. And yep, I remember that, Robin. I remember like Richard, I remember like Disney Magic and Mayhem going through the skyline, going through the fireworks, walking around for 30 minutes on the boardwalk, getting chocolate ice cream, then kabam. Then I saw Robin saying, I'm still stuck in the Skyliner line. I left before Luminous. I was like, oh my gosh. And this is what I stepped on with my bare foot. Ouchie, ouchie, ouchie. Beware of hitchhiking towers. You never know when you'll be stepping on a teeny tiny Tower of Terror. And at least my foot is okay, but that was painful. Really, really painful. Lyle says, Robin, when you get on rides and Richard and Gabriel Richard and Gabriel in a separate line than you, were you able to meet back up with them to get on a ride together at the same time? Oh, my little baby. So, yep, this is what happened. I stepped on the towel. Ouchie, ouchie, ouchie. And, for everybody who's been around and been keeping up with what's going on, I know Sierra has shrunk the towel. Oh no, honey, you shrunk the towel. Hello, Angie, good to see you. For those who have been around or who are familiar with what's going on, I used to have a Funko Pop Tower of Terror. Unfortunately, this is the only thing that is left of the Funko Pop Tower of Terror. Is this little turret. May the Funko Pop Tower rest in peace. Ouchie, ouchie, ouchie. And thank you so much, Gia. If you have not already, be sure to smash the thumbs up to keep the party going. Robin says, Lyle, if the ride has a handicapped accessible entrance, they went with me. That's so good to know. Oh, I get it now. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Oh my gosh. Hello, Jalen. Good to see you. I am right now. I'm drawing for Disney for Matthew. Is Mickey Mouse riding the Tower of Terror. Before I stepped on this and ripped the Funko Pop. Going back to Rock and Roller Coaster, Matthew says, Robin, going back to the Skyliner real quick before we get on the Rock and Roller Coaster. Robin says, got in the Skyliner line, the scooter accessible line at 9:30. Richard and Gabriel ended up passing me at 10:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is so wild. That is bananas. Lyle says, yeah, Robin, I was kind of wondering that because if you're ever going to wind up going together, I'm not leaving my group. Neither would I. If possible, I would not want to leave my group either. And I'm curious, what rides were you able to ride together? And I do realize that there's some rides, including Pirates of the Caribbean, and I believe it was Peter Pan, where the lines are so narrow that you have to separate, then reconvene at the end of the ride, which is really unfortunate, especially if it's a party. And for Tron, I believe you have to get transferred to a wheelchair and have somebody push you up the queue for Tron, which is really unfortunate, especially if you have a group of multiple people. That's good to know, Robin, that if you're traveling with a stroller, a scooter, or a wheelchair, that you would be able to that everybody could stick with you all together let's see what ride that is. Let me back up this bus. Oh, I get it now. Yeah, especially for rides like Ratatouille, Mickey Minnie's Runaway Railroad, Rise of the Resistance, Tower of Terror. Matthew says, they used to have Honey, I Shrunk the Kids at Epcot, but unfortunately they replaced it with Captain EO in 2010 after Michael Jackson passed in 2009, and now Captain EO tribute is no more. Wah. I completely missed the Captain EO tribute, which makes me really sad too. I do like some of Michael Jackson's music, but honestly, when it comes to music, I do prefer Dean Martin, Jerry Lewis, the Rat Pack, and Elvis Presley. Hello, James. Good to see you. What's up? And yep, that looks like Chaz too. Chaz Mouse. It's so good to see you, James. What's up? How you doing? Woo! And how is everything going in Alaska? Robin also says, Richard rode the Skyliner separately from me because he was still streaming, and I went ahead to get in the line. And I also remember hearing some advice. That if you want to get in this, if you want to beat the Skyliner line, always ride the Skyliner before the fireworks, especially if you're on the Skyliner Resort. So note, here it is, Elvis Presley riding the Tower of Terror. Viva Lost Tower, bright lights in the Hollywood Tower Hotel. Viva Lost Tower. And also, do you know that there is a slot machine in the Tower of Terror? I will be making an entire video dedicated to the Tower of Terror slot machine. And also, thank you so much, James, for the good luck. Woo! That's right, Matthew. Elvis was a legend. I do wish I got to see Elvis perform in concert at least once, but unfortunately, he passed away before I could. This is what Elvis would look like if he was riding the Tower of Terror. And also, RIP Elvis. He passed away in 1972. Somebody who I knew was working in the ceramic shops that day when they realized that Elvis passed away. Another really wild thing is I was browsing through Reddit, and somebody because being at Hollywood Studios the very day that Michael Jackson passed away. They were in line for the Tower of Terror, and then kaboom, the entire line cleared up. There was absolutely nobody because everybody was really shell-shocked that Michael Jackson just passed away. Honestly, I would be too. I would be like really shocked if one of my favorite singles suddenly passed away. I probably would leave to the resort or leave the park for that day, honestly. But the person got to go right into the tower and ride the elevator alone. It was a really surreal day. Hello, Jason B. Good to see you. What's up? How you doing? And Chaz says, Matthew, that's the greatest thing I've ever heard you say. Elvis lives. Woo! Elvis is great. And I'm wondering, what is everybody's favorite Elvis song? Right now, my favorite Elvis songs are Viva Las Vegas, Bright Lights in the City Sky, Viva Las Vegas. And another really sad Elvis song is, another song that really gets me sad is Love Me Tender. It was a song that one of my teachers played at a wedding. Unfortunately, what happened is my teacher did pass away. Very, very tragic. So when I think of Love Me Tender, I think of a wedding that was like years ago. So here is a Elvis tribute. Matthew says, Michael Jackson had great music, but unfortunately the doctor that gave him too much medication and called porphyria, and unfortunately unalive Michael Jackson, which was really unfortunate. It's just really saddening when a medication does go wrong or sudden does get messed up medically. Lyle says American Trilogy. Robin says Jailhouse Rock. Little Timmy over there with a tractor, with a saxophone. Everybody, let's do the Jailhouse Rock. Everybody, let's do the Jailhouse Rock. And unfortunately, I can't sing unless I'm on the Tower of Terror or getting dropped on 13 stories. It's okay, Angie. You don't have to be an Elvis fan. I'm curious, Angie, what is your favorite artist and your favorite song? For me, I'm personally not the biggest Justin Bieber fan or modern music fan. I prefer the old school music from like the 1930s Hollywood, the Tower of Terror soundtrack, and anything from like the 1920s jazz. I also do Mr. Dean Martin's show along with Mr. Rogers when it comes to music. And it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Another really strange thing about me is I do have something called prosopagnosia, which makes it kind of hard to draw and see and recognize faces. So, for instance, if I was to run into somebody at the parks, it would take me at least 10 tries to accurately guess your name and know who you are. So that's the one unfortunate thing about having face blindness, is I do come off as really cold and very distant. When in reality, I'm trying my best to recognize who you are, but yet I can't associate faces with names. Oh, beat it. That's right, Matt. If you beat it. I know, Lyle. Po Angie. Po Angie. Purple rain. Purple copyright strikes. Purple copyright strikes. Purple rain on copyright strikes. And also, what's really, really amazing right now is the fact that there's something called the Disney Streamer Network. If you're torn between watching me, another Disney streamer, or Maury's Adventure, who is live right now from Hollywood Studios. So if you're very torn between who to watch, good news is you can fire up Disney Streamer Network to DSN, and you can watch me, Lyle, and whoever you want to watch, up to 42 streamers at the same time. So you never have to deal with FOMO ever again. That is what I do when there's multiple people in Hollywood Studios, and I just want to be sitting around watching nonstop Hollywood Studios streams all day long. That's the beauty of the DSN, the Disney Streamer Network. You can watch anybody and everybody at the same time. And you can also chat too. That's what I love about it. Oh, it's okay, Lyle. It's okay. We can get all copyright strikes you like tonight. Just for you, Lyle. It's your night. A night of copyright strikes. That is so awesome, Angie. So I'm curious, what is your favorite country? What's your favorite jazz or country song? I didn't realize that Prince sang Purple Rain. My bad. I'm not sure, but I thought it was Elton John who sang Purple Rain. And I know, Lyle. Oh no, Lyle been busted. Oh no, Lyle been busted. Be busted today. And what's Robin's favorite in here? I'm just really curious. So yes, Matthew, I can draw John Sienna. Who is John Sienna? I'm just really curious. Mama Medulla. So here we go. I didn't know that. Hello, APP, Amusement Park Pirates. Right now we're talking about how Elton John is not the one who sings Purple Rain, but rather it's Prince. And right now, we are getting ready to draw the one and only, drumroll please, John Cena. So here it is, John Cena. He is Superman, and he's also a boxer too. I never knew he did wrestling. So how are you doing, Amusement Park Pirates? I really did enjoy your trivia show last night. Hello, Joe. Good to see you. Unfortunately, I have not spotted your dog quite yet, and we're still looking for Robin's rooster. Robin's rooster just escaped the scene. I'm guessing that Robin's rooster is either living in the land or snuck in the Richard's luggage on the way home. Oh, I can't see him. John Cena is a wrestler. For some reason, I thought that John Cena was Superman. And yep, he did escape. He escaped back into living in the land. He's like, nope, sorry, Richard. I'm not going back home to PA. Sorry. So how you doing, Joe? So also, Amusement Park Pirates, I'm curious, when are you going to be back in Disneyland? And I would love to hear when you might be streaming watercolor again, just because of how much I love seeing watercolor. I've never seen watercolor in person. I've seen the fireworks show once, and I've also seen Paint Night, but never Tapestry of Magic either, because I had to run to the airport after fireworks. I've never seen John Cena either. I've never seen Hee either. Never seen anything in person, allegedly. One moment, everybody. The TV's getting loud. Alright, everybody, thank you for your patience. Just had to make sure the TV wasn't gonna be blasting in the room. I'm glad you're doing alright, APP, and I really did enjoy your trivia streams. Reason I enjoy your trivia streams is I don't know everything, and I always love learning I just love learning new stuff, especially when it comes to the questions. I was amazed by how much I learned last night. Oh, it's okay, Angie. Same here. When it comes to celebrity culture, gossip culture, and especially when it comes to celebrities and musicians, I'm behind the times. My TARDIS on my Mandalorian has been stuck in time. Since the 1960s, and you know it's really wild. I had no clue what a Mandalorian was until Sierra told me. No, Tony, a Mandalorian is not slang for a TARDIS. It is a car in Back in the Future. And I'm like, whoa. Never knew that the Mandalorian was a Back in the Future car. I thought it was called the Dalek. And then I come to find out that the Daleks are evil robots in Doctor Who, especially for the first 6 seasons. And I was like, whoa, that really humbled me. So here is my best drawing I got of John Cena. Oh my gosh, see how it says Mandalorian is a Star Wars thing? I thought Mandalorian was Back to the Future car thingy. What a freaking life. Hello Gizmo, it's so good to see you. What's up and how are you doing? Oh my gosh, I literally cannot believe that I'm getting my franchises tipsy-topsy upside downies just like in Mary Poppins. Come on. I'm not sure that was just... Oh my gosh, Mando Star Wars. Oh my gosh. I think I might have to draw a Mandalorian next. Oh my freaking gosh. Oh my gosh. I am a hot mess express. Hot. Oh my gosh, a Mandalorian does not travel at 88 miles per hour. Sorry everybody about the Mandalorian confusion. But is the car thingy in Back in the Future a Dalek? I know it's not Spaceship Earth. I know it's not a Dalek or a TARDIS. But let's see what the Mandalorian is. See how it says, the only two things that a Mandalorian and a Dalek have in common is where they go, they don't need roads. Ka-chow. Oh my gosh, things are getting heated. Alright. Chad says, okay, Angie, that's 2 passes in 1 night. I'm making a note. All right, everybody, let's start making a note. So note, let's draw a Mandalorian and a DeLorean combined. This is what happens when you combine a DeLorean and a Mandalorian. So here's a here's a Dandelion, and here's a Mandalorian. Definitely is a great movie. Back in the Future is a great movie, so I am curious. What is everybody's favorite Back in the Future movie or in the trilogy? Mandalorian? Let's see what a Mandalorian is. Oh! Alright, so not here's a Mandalorian and a DeLorean at the same time. Why not? Go big or go home, everybody. And Dalek is Doctor Who. I thought that Dalek was Star Wars. It was either Star Wars or in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Oh my gosh. Dandelion, I think I sing it on Main Street, USA. A dandelion is fine and dandy. A dandelion. There's more than corn in Indiana. There's more than dandelions in Indiana. So this is how you draw a dandelion. If anybody's curious, we got first Back of the Future from APP. Angie says first Back of the Future from APP from Angie. So I'm curious, what do you like about Back in the Future #1? For me personally, I like Back in the Future #3 because it turned a choo-choo train into a time machine. There's more than dandelions in Indiana. So here's a dandelion. Here's what I think it looks like. When I first thought of a Dalek, I thought that Dalek was an applesauce brand. And I also thought that the Dalek was something that you could get at the supermarket. It was either a crackle, an octopus, or something edible. I was in for a huge wake-up call when I learned what the Dalek really was, and that you cannot consume the Dalek safely. Whatever you do, please don't try any of this at home. That is so awesome, Matthews. Welcome back, CJL. Good to see you. What's up? How are you doing? And I also really like that the first Back of the Future does have a bunch of really interesting humor. I do miss the fact that Universal Orlando used to have a Back of the Future and Jaws attraction, but that got taken out and replaced by dinosaurs, I believe, allegedly. Has anybody ridden the Velociraptor before? Velociraptor. There's more than dandelions in Indiana. I'm not riding Velociraptor. I'm too much of a chicken to ride a Velociraptor. When I first heard about Velociraptor, I thought it was some sort of helicopter or some sort of Las Vegas sight. I thought, hello, RJ Johns, good to see you. Johns, we were just talking about how I thought that Velociraptor, when I first heard about it, was some sort of Las Vegas helicopter sightseeing tour because I heard the word copter, not coaster. Oh, that sucks, Joe. That Back to the Future was turned into Simpsons. That really sucks. Really sucks. So I'm not sure why when I thought of Velociraptor, I thought it was some sort of Las Vegas sightseeing helicopter tour that you could see over the stratosphere and get like an exclusive VIP tour. But then I was really appalled, and I literally dropped 13 stories after learning that it was a roller coaster, not a Las Vegas sightseeing attraction. So now here we go. We got the DeLorean, and now it's time to give the DeLorean. Let's give the DeLorean the Mandalorian. I realized that I may not be making any sense right now. Matthew says, the only one that's still a classic in the park is E.T. That's the only ride that's still in Universal. Wah. And also I did hear from Sierra that E.T. is better than the Tower of Terror. Oh, thank you so much. Guess what? I try. So I'm curious for Sierra. But what makes the E.T. better than the Tower of Terror? Knock, who's there? Whoosh. Not sure, but when I draw the dandelions, I always think about a Nike check mark. Whoosh. So here is a dandelion, and here's the dandelion sidekick. I nearly forgot that we needed a dandelion sidekick. So here's a dandelion sidekick. So here you go. This is what happens when you combine a dandelion and a Mandalorian at the same time. The Mando, we got baby. Oh, thank you so much, Angie. We got ourselves a baby Yoda, not a baby Shark. A dandelion together. Looks like dandelion is going back into the future. And looks like they're probably, and hopefully the dandelion can get past the First Order and win the win in the Resistance. Matthew says, can you please draw Angie Princess Leia? Yes, I can draw Angie Princess Leia. I didn't know that E.T. was a very similar ride to Peter Pan's Flight. How is E.T. similar to Peter Pan's Flight? I'm really curious. The baby is awake. Oh no. Do you mean the baby Yoda? Angie, oh yes, here is Angie Princess Leia. Oh no, who's awake now? Baby Yoda be waking up. Baby Yoda be causing a ruckus. So here you go, Matthew. Here is the next character. Oh, do you want me to draw Angie as Princess Leia? I didn't do that either, Chaz. I didn't do that either. I didn't either do that. I did not do that either, Liams. I promise I'm not guilty yet. Alrighty, I will draw Princess Leia. Matthew says, you go into a golf cart ride vehicle and you get on a bike and then you look at animatronics. That is so amazing. That is so neat. I didn't realize that you got onto a bike similar to Tron. Oh, now I get the joke. Knock knock, who's there? Yeah, so when I go to Disneyland in June, I'm curious about what is everybody's favorite rides that you want me to ride, or anything that you hope for me to ride. Unfortunately, I cannot ride Mansion because of the lag. I also cannot ride Mission Breakout because of the lag. And I also cannot ride Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railroad because of the wrist strap issues. So unfortunately, I cannot ride as many rides as I would have liked in Disneyland due to the lag and the auto infrastructure, which kind of makes everything very laggy and saggy. Lag, into a lag fest. So I do realize that our Disneyland rides may be a little slightly limited, but we do what we can and seize the day anyways. I'm also going to be asking around I'm also going to be asking around and seeing what rides we can stream the best without worrying about as much lag as without worrying about lag fest or lag monsters, because Disneyland, they do have some lag monsters in my opinion. I kind of think that lag monsters are worse. I kind of get a feeling that the lag monsters are worse in Disneyland just because that's where the original Haunted Mansion was built, and it sat empty for 8 years until after Walt Disney's passing, unfortunately. But fortunately, they were able to get the mansion built and constructed into some real estate. But yet, because of its history, it does have some lag monsters, and the lag monsters do love to eat up all the park internet. That really sucks. Amusement park part that you cannot stream on Incredicoaster in Indiana Jones because without a wrist strap or a harness. What about Mission Breakout? I probably will not be able to stream Mission Breakout just because of the really poor signal and reception in the line, unless I'm able to somehow scrounge up a lightning lane pass. If I can get a lightning lane pass to go on Mission Breakout, I'll for sure be on Mission Breakout. That's what I'd be doing if I was able to get a lightning lane pass. Otherwise, I'd be skipping Mission Breakout just so we would not have to be sitting through 50 or 60 minutes of pure lag and blare. That'd be very, very boring. And Matthew says to please draw him as Darth Vader coming right up. Run order of Darth Vader coming right up. Alrighty, I'm a little bit nervous about Mission Breakout just because of it being a thrill ride similar to Mickey and Minnie's and Incredicoaster and Indy. I kind of get feeling that Disneyland's really strict about the phones flying out just because Mickey and Minnie is a little bit more aggressive than the Disney World Mickey and Minnie's. Same with the Indiana Jones due to the ride technology, and the Disneyland Mickey and Minnie was the very first ride. Was the very first ride. Was the very first iteration of Mickey and Minnie's, and I think they worked out all like the intense aggressive motions in Disney World. Same with Indiana Jones. It was its first iteration in Disneyland, and that's why the rides might be a little bit more aggressive. And in Incredicoaster, I can see why you need a really strong harness and a really strong grip, just because you go upside down in a loop-de-loop. And I'm so excited for you, Matthew. I would love for you to go to D23. I'd be cheering you on. That'd be one heck of a time. And also, Chad says, Tony, don't worry about the lag. Tony, one moment. Sorry, everybody. Thank you for your patience. Thank you so much for your patience. We are experiencing a little lag in the chat, so I'm trying to get all the requests going. Chad says, Tony, don't worry about your lag in Disneyland. You're only going to be here for a minute, 72 hours. Do as much as you can and don't worry about anything. Don't miss a thing, even if you are lagging left and right. And if we do lag, and if we do lose, right, come on, mute. If we do lose the stream, we can come right back during mission breakout, and I have a backup stream ready to go in case we lose the first stream. Alright, so Instagram, are you? Come on, Instagram, open up, open sesame. Come on. Thank you, everybody, for your patience. We're experiencing some technical issues. Please be patient and please remain seated. Oh, come on. Thank you, everybody, for your patience as we overcome the wicked west of technology. And Matthew, here you come. Just gotta make sure that the reference pictures look really good. Otherwise, it can get a little wonky. Just want to make sure that we can get a picture perfect experience, and that's awesome. APP. Thank you so much, Gizmo, for all your patience. Thank you, everybody, for your continued patience as we experience technical delays. Mama Dula. So here is Dolph Matthew. I thought I put the backup phone on mute, but nope. Open up Instagram and it kaboom with messages. One message after another. Nobody's fault. It had a backlog of a month's worth of messages, of direct messages. And when you get a backlog of direct messages on Instagram, it literally takes like at least 5 minutes for it to go through all the messages and to sync up to where you last left off. So welcome to backlog. Same with printers. If you have a backlog of things that don't print, you're going to be bombarded with nonstop. You're going to be literally bombarded with nonstop printer messages back to back. And I hope oh my gosh, Matthew, I'm so worried right now. Matthew says, I've heard that there's a live streaming with, I heard that live streaming at Disneyland with a gimbal might be banned. It's a rumor, not confirmed yet. And yes, Angie, I can draw you Gandalf from Lord of the Rings. I'm just really nervous thinking about that, because what would be the future of streaming without gimbals? Worst comes to worst, if you cannot stream with a gimbal, I have had a gimbal break on me. I had my gimbal break on me. I ended up going to Prism and setting up and setting my stream to have my stream set in cinematic mode. This way I could do a handheld stream. I did a clutch onto my phone, and I ended up having to do a handheld stream the entire night. Definitely very tiring on the wrist. I also used Funko Pop Tower, who really helped me out with the entire ordeal. Unfortunately, Funko Pop Tower has gone to the great beyond, so we definitely need to get a new Funko Pop Tower and before we go to Disneyland if the gimbal is banned. That kind of stuff does get me really worried, especially if Disney's going to crack down on streams and bans live streaming. That'd be really gutting. That'd be really devastating. That'd be just really, really, really devastating. Yeah, I'd be really mad too, Matthew. I'd just be really, really beyond ourselves. I'd just be really beyond ourselves. I would be like, oh my, I'd be like, what the heck? Why can we stream without a gimbal? I'd just be really shocked if we cannot stream. I'd be really shocked if we cannot bring a gimbal into Disneyland or Disney World. That'd be very surprising. Good to see you, CDL. Good to see you. And that's good to know, Chaz. And as a reminder, just a rumor, everybody, there's no current gimbal band at Disneyland Resort. That is so awesome, Matthew. So I'm curious, Matthew, what park will you be streaming from? So here's what happens. So here's Matthew as Darth Vader. Welcome back, CDO. Good to see you. And sometimes I realize when it comes to rumors, they can be very, very terrifying. I have fallen for so many Tower of Terror rumors that is not even funny. Literally, there's been rumors from years ago that I think were real, and I'm basically like, oh my gosh, what's going on with the Tower of Terror? Tower of Terror is gonna get destroyed. When in reality, the rumors was just there for a bunch of folks and some clout chasing. There was this one rumor that I fell headfirst for a few days ago. There was this rumor going around saying that the reason that Disney contacted CML Landscaping and Facade Repair was to destroy the tower and to make it in Mission Breakout. But in reality, the more I think about it, Disney hired a contractor but has not said anything about it just because they don't want to stir the pot or to get people really riled up. When in reality, the Tower of Terror is literally a 30-year-old facade. And it does need some TLC and love at sometimes, even if it requires a full facade restoration, just like what we saw on the Magic Kingdom's Haunted Mansion. And the silver lining is Disney has not announced a closing date, which means that the Tower of Terror would very likely operate even if it was underneath a top, just like what we are experiencing with the Haunted Mansion, and it's a small in Disneyland in 2010. So let's see what else we can draw. Thank you everybody for your patience. We got a little bit behind in the chat. And yes, Angie, I can draw Gandalf from Lord of the Rings. Thank you so much for all your continued patience. I'm not sure who Gandalf is, but we shall find out. Gandalf. Go Gadget Gandalf. I'm really hoping that Disney does decide to buy CBS to keep the Twilight Zone license, especially since Disney, when they were under Bob Chapek, were going on a buying spree to buy Fox Media, to buy CNN, to buy just about everything they could. And the reason that Disney tried to buy Fox Media is so they could get access to a European TV station. Unfortunately, it didn't pan out the way that Disney thought, from what I could tell. Go Gadget Gandalf. Go Gadget Tower of Terror forever. Go Gadget, may Tower of Terror be with us for the end of time. Go Gadget Gandalf. Mama Medulla. And yes, I realize I can be a very, very, very boring person at times, especially when I can get onto a Tower of Terror rant and ramble. So if you ever get bored of what I'm saying, please let me know in the chat and we can change subjects. Or we could move on to another subject. So here's my take on Gandalf, and that's right. And that's right, Gizmo. It's wild just how much money he makes and how much Disney is worth. It's a $1 billion company from what I can tell. Lyle says, I am Gandalf, and Gandalf means me. I am Lyle, and I am Gandalf at the same time. Mama Medulla. Yes, please, that'd be great. That would be great if Disney could buy CBS and have access to Twilight Zone. And when Disney has access to Twilight Zone, Disney would not have to pay CBS licensing and royalties, and we could keep Tower of Terror hopefully forever. To the moon and back. Oh yes, please, let's keep Tower of Terror. Let me zoom on out so you can get all. Let's zoom on out so we can get all the action. Mama Medulla. So does anybody have any last art requests? I realize we've been here for an hour. Does anybody have any last art requests before I call it a night? And Lyle says, Tony Gandalf is a wizard from The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings. I used to have a Lord of the Rings antique slot machine, but unfortunately, that machine went kaput. I've never seen the Lord of the Rings movie. I've never read the books before. The only thing I know about Lord of the Rings is from the slot machine itself, the WMS slot machine that ran on a WMS Bluebolt 2 CPU in NXT2. So that's the only thing I know about Lord of the Rings is from its slot machines. And do you know that the creator of Lord of the Rings was actually able to? The only reason that the creator was able to create Lord of the Rings is that he was able to figure out how to create computer-generated graphics and environments. He had a way of being able to create a computer-generated sculpture overlaying an actual mountain or landscape scenery, and because of his computer geniusness and geniality, the studio was like, heck yeah, build and create whatever you like. So he was given permission to create the Lord of the Rings. And what I find really wild when it comes to the Lord of the Rings is that one of the actors was so afraid of heights that he refused to take the helicopter up the hiking trails where they were filming, and he would walk all the way up there in his fallen costume and walk all the way back down. That's how much he did not like heights. Another thing about Lord of the Rings is if you're looking at the background, you might notice a bunch of waterfalls and a lot of creeks. Hello, Jen. Good to see you. What's up? How you doing? A lot of creeks. Do you know that they're actually salt? And in the background of Lord of the Rings, the director producers are dumping salt down the waterfalls, and they have the waterfalls on the wheels, similar to what we see in Pandora. Hello, Jen. So good to see you. Hello, Jen and Mike. How you doing? So I'm curious, Jen, do you have any live art requests before we do have to get going for the evening? And I really had a great time watching Mike's stream on Magic Adventures with Maury too. It was definitely one amazing night. And for those who have not seen this Maury stream, on the very first stream, Mike and Maury got pixie dusted by one of the bellhops in the Tower of Terror They took this chicken elevator to the boiler room, and they could ride Tower of Terror. That was one heck of a time. I was like, heck yeah, hallelujah, no way, Jose. That was what was really, really wild, especially when it comes to the Hollywood Tower Hotel. It's okay, Jen. It's okay, Gizmo. Oh, it's okay. That's the magic about replay. But the amazing thing is, I'll be going live again next Sunday at the same time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And hello, Monique. It's so good to see you. What's up? What's up, everybody? So here's our Mandalorian, DeLorean. Here's a wrestler. Here's Mickey Mouse, Elvis riding the Tower of Terror. Hello, Monique. Good to see you. Here's Elvis again. And here's a birthday card for Blake. Twilight Zone Blake. So since we got Monique and we got Jen here, let's keep the party going for a little bit longer. Why not? Because when Monique and Jen come, the party gets going. Woo! Heck yeah! So let's see, what else can we draw? Note, since we got Jen here, and I know how much Jen likes Elsa and Anna. No, let's draw some Elsa and Anna. I do find your dogs Elsa and Anna absolutely adorable. And also, Jen, I realize that there's been a lot going on. So if you like a one-on-one art stream, let me know. In case you're not able to make some of the art streams, I can give you a one-on-one art stream if you would like. So here's my little version of Elsa and Anna. Oops, I messed up the hair. I completely messed up the hair. Aww. Thank you, Jen. That means a lot. So whenever you like, or whenever you're free or available, I can definitely do that for you, Jen. Oops, I almost forgot the thumbs. Let it go, the cold doesn't bother me quite yet. Unless I'm on the bus. I completely messed, oh sorry, I completely messed you up. I still find it wild that Frozen came out in 2013. Basically, that Frozen came out over 10 years ago. I'm glad to hear that you're doing well, Monique. So good to see you. I just love seeing you around. And also, Monique, I love when you sing all the lyrics. You really do bring a good time when you sing to everybody. I love when you sing, especially during fireworks shows. Coronation Day. It's Coronation Day. Same here. I do love to draw too. And yes, let's get the Buzz Lightyear going at Magic Kingdom. Buzz Lightyear Galactic Hero. Let's go. Woo! We really do need to get some buzz going. We really do need to get the buzz in the chat. When I do go to Disney World in June, I'll be writing Buzz Lightyear Galactic Hero for you all. I'll be writing Buzz Lightyear Galactic Hero. We'll definitely be writing and seeing what we can do. And don't count on me getting Galactic Hero. I'm not Galactic Hero. I'm Galactic Zero. And when I go on Buzz Lightyear and Toy Story Mania, I get the Galactic Zero. So I get 0, 0, 0. That's me. I'm a zero, not a hero. So here you go, Elsa and Anna. Boop. And definitely I can draw Bluey. Woo! Bluey, Bluey. No, we can draw Elsa, Anna, and Bluey. Sorry, Olaf. Sorry, Olaf. Today's not your day. Bye, Olaf. I've only seen a few episodes of Bluey. But and unfortunately, I have not seen the new Buzz Lightyear scenes, so we'll be doing that one next week. I wish we could go on Buzz too. Wish we could be there for the debut. Bluey, Galactic Hero. The Bluey, instead of Buzz Lightyear, it's Bluey. And also, what makes me really sad, in my opinion, is that Bluey is replacing Rafiki's Planet Watch that has been there for decades. I'm really going to miss Rafiki's Planet Watch just because of how charming that IP was. But we definitely got ourselves a Bluey Animal Kingdom area. And now I'm actually really hopeful about the Bluey. I'm really hopeful about the Bluey Animal Kingdom. About the Bluey Animal Kingdom setup. Not sure how it's going to be, but I'm just really curious. The one thing I like about Bluey is how sweet and gentle the parents are. And when I'm helping with my niece, I really do enjoy modeling myself after Bluey's parents, especially since I really appreciate how gentle and how kind they are. That is my favorite kind. That's why I enjoy watching Bluey when I can, because of the parenting style alone. When I used to help nanny a kid, I would be watching Bluey a lot. It's such a sweet and loving show. And it was definitely a popular show. So here you go. Hello, everybody. Woo! Monique, what do you like about Bluey? So right. So right here we got ourselves a Bluey. We got Elsa and Anna. I note where we are at it. Bluey, Elsa, and Anna are not complete without Buzz Lightyear. Buzz Lightyear being the galactic hero, swinging from the webs like Spider-Man. Oops, that's Spider-Man now. Whoops, Buzz Lightyear does not swing from webs. That's Spider-Man. You know, I nearly got Buzz Lightyear confused with Spider-Man, and right when I said the word swinging Buzz Lightyear, swinging through the webs, I knew something was wrong. I'm like, wait a minute. Why is Buzz Lightyear swinging on spider webs? That's not Buzz, that's Bluey. Wait, that's not Bluey, that's Spider-Man. And now I'm really ready. Really ready. Oh, sorry, Olaf. Now I'm really ready to see us. Now I'm really ready to see ourselves some galactic heroes. And now Buzz Lightyear is going to replace Hans. I find it wild that the Buzz Lightyear ride was supposed to be modeled after the Pixar Buzz Lightyear film. Unfortunately, because that film flunked in the box office, they decided to model Buzz Lightyear, the galactic hero, after the Buzz Lightyear in Shanghai to infinity and beyond. So look who replaces Hans. I used to have 7 Buzz Lightyear toys. Unfortunately, I lost interest in Buzz Lightyear, and it got replaced with the Hollywood Tower Hotel. So yep. This is Buzz Lightyear. This is the crew, the Bluey crew. Thank you so much, Jalen. That's what happens when Buzz Lightyear and Bluey replace Olaf. The cold doesn't part or buzz no more. Let it go. Let Zug know that the cold don't bother him no more. I think you're very, very welcome. You're very welcome, Matthew. And Chad says, I am more of a galactic space cadet. I am the galactic 0. Instead of hero, I'm a galactic 0. And thank you so much, Lyle. Help keep the Tony Zone going. Always appreciate it, but never expected. Heck yeah. Woo, let's keep the party going. This never, definitely not expected, but every little thing does help keep the party going. Hello, Cece. So good to see you. Oh, that's so awesome. So I'm curious, what movie did you watch, Cece? And Chad says, did Olaf melt Robin? Florida can be rough on the snowman. And let's see what our answer is going to be today. So, one more, everybody. So, this is Olaf. This is Olaf today. Cece says, Matthew says, did you get to watch Toy Story 2? So this is Olaf. This is what happens when Olaf waits in line for hours and hours and hours. Unfortunately, Olaf did not make it through Disney World today. So yep, there it is, Olaf. Now the picture is complete, but almost one moment. So guess where they were waiting in line. So this is what they were waiting in line for. Does anybody have any guesses to what they were waiting in line for? I know, Robin. Poor Olaf. He forgot his personalized air conditioner unit. So do you have any guesses to what Olaf is waiting for in line? Do you have any guesses to what I'm drawing in the background? Going once, going twice. What am I drawing? I'm just curious. One moment, everybody. I'm gonna let everybody guess. Giving it like 10 seconds. Let me let you all guess. Let's just let everybody guess. Wait for it. Wait for it. Alright, so going once, going twice. Any clues to what it possibly could be? We are looking for Blue's Clues. We are looking for Blue's Clues. Amusement Pirate says, it's a small world after all. You are very close. That's a really good guess. James says, I don't have much to say today. I'm just here for the free drinks. Woo! And for the free dollop. So, Chaz, do you have the free beer or the free dollop machine? And after the stream, just for James and everybody. Yep, Olaf has a drink. Olaf has a drink in his hand. So this is one of Olaf's. This is one of Chaz's very own donut machine drinks. So here you go, Chaz. That is the drink that Olaf was trying to drink. So that's a really good guess, everybody. Everybody who guessed It's a Small World is really close. And also, right after we're done here, we'll be going to our second channel, Somewhere with Simon. That is where I showcase. I forgot what I was going to say, but that's where I showcase my antique machines. So that's where I showcase my antique machines. If anybody's interested in some antique arcade machine showcases tonight, we'll be going there right after this. So do you have any guesses to what this is in the background? I saw one guess for It's a Small World. Do you want to build a snowman? And Shrinto, the best time of the year. Shrinto is the best time of the year. So do you know that Shrinto is the best time of the year? And does anybody have any guesses to what this is? So good to see you, James. Woo! Monique says Tower of Terror. Come on, let's go, let's play. Heck yeah. It's going to be 15 minutes. I forgot to fire up the arcade machine. And here we have it right here. Everybody waiting for the Hollywood Tower Hotel. And it's not snowing, it's soaping. These are soap bubbles, not snow. Robin says, is that tower? Really good question, really good guess. So let's see if there's any guesses. And thank you so much to Chazcat for all the dope floats. We got It's a Small World. Wait, Tower of Terror. Mike and Solly to the rescue. And the correct guess is it's the Tower of Terror after all. It's the Tower of Terror after all. All right, here it is. Woo! I know it, everybody. In just 15 minutes, one moment, everybody. In just 15 minutes, the lights at the Tony Zone will be dimming as we get ready to play as the Symphony of Us, aka Luminous, the Symphony of the Arcade Machine, is starting just momentarily. So now, everybody, here's where we're going right after this. Thank you, everybody, for your patience. Tonight's been a wild night. Thank you, everybody. So here it is. You got it right, Monty. Woo! You got mail. Oops, wrong button. What am I doing on this device? Come on, wake it up, machine. Come on, wake it up, iPhone. Not wake it up, machine. Come on, anything. Let's go. What am I even doing? My fingers be sticking. Thank you, everybody, for your patience. And thank you, everybody, for the amazing dough whips. So here it is, antique arcade machine right there. And I'm glad the baby's back to sleep, Lyle. So here it is, the antique arcade machine. With that being said, thank you so much, everybody, for watching and for being here. If you have not already, please be sure to smash the thumbs up button. We will be drawing Mike and Sully next week. And we'll see you in just 15 minutes in the Tornado Tower Arcade Zone. So see you there, everybody. Woo! Thank you, everybody. And I did put the link in the chat. Here we go. Let's go. And that's right, Chaz. Hit us up if you want a dough whip, because dough whips and arcade machines do go good together. And you too. See you, Gizmo. See you, everybody. See you real soon. Thank you, everybody, for your